I feel like the issue people have with it is, one, they're not being taught it correctly, and two, they're only interested in learning about their type, but just like the fun, like personality things to a deeper level where it'll actually help you in times of stress to identify when you're having a hard time or your not so healthy parts and how to move you towards a healthier version of yourself.
So let's dive into what exactly is the Enneagram and why it's so useful. How we use in our lives is one, personal growth. So this is how we were introduced to it. Both of us at separate times went to what's called the cabin. And so this is a personal growth retreat. I took this test and you have to look like the top three, but I took this test and then the person came up to me is like, no, this is what you are. And I was like, okay, because you can test wrong. You have to look at your top three. I looked at the top three and I do test really close together in my top three. And then once I read them out and it's like, you look at the good and then you look at the bad and there's different stages. And so you start applying that to your life. And then after I started understanding myself, I started applying it to relationships. So it's used in my marriage, but it's also used in the workplace and how we communicate, because as a leader, you understand this. Once you get into leadership, you can't just like treat everybody the same. You want to say that ideologically, was like, be fair to everybody. Fairness is actually understanding each of the personality types and how they want to be communicated to and what they value and what their best version is and helping them get there. And then using it just in communication and then even helping you mature has been a big part of the Enneagrams.
Yeah, I actually think that this has been more helpful in relationships for me than it has been on just learning about myself. I mean, it's fun to be like, oh yeah, that's totally me.
Yeah.
But so much more helpful to be like, okay, well, how will my husband hear this best? Or like my coworker, how are we going to work best in this scenario together?
Yeah. And a lot of with the Enneagrams, what makes it unique is that it is focused on what your intentions are behind it. So what I've noticed and how it's used wrong, but for a big picture and where we're going with this is a lot of people take the Enneagram and they'll be like, here's a number, and like ones are perfectionists. I'm a perfectionist. I must be a one. And so where that mistake comes in is we're not really looking about, do you have these traits? Now, traits can come out of these different people and personalities, but it's not always presented the same. And what we're really looking for is the motivation behind someone. So you could have, for example, multiple different Enneagram numbers who were really interested in success outwardly. But why they want their success is what defines their number. It's not that they want success. And so when you're really looking, like we dive deep into what is the motivation of a person, and that helps get that understanding of what your number is. So it's your intentions behind your actions that are defining your Enneagram. And so an example would be, do you want freedom? Do you want security? Do you want peace, success, connection, control, some meaning in life? You're going to be a piece of all of these, but what is your biggest thing that you're seeking through your actions? And that's when we start to define who you are. And then you can use that number for other people in that personal growth.
So yeah, it is a personality typing, but not really.